you gotta ask anyone who's thrown 300 times. Like all of a sudden, not every shot's been dead flush in the pocket. There's been some luck in there too. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
The my 300 last week on Thursday, I had 2 lucky breaks. The first one was in the 9th frame. I tripped the 7-8 out, which is for a lefty, the last 2 pins on the left side on the back of the rack. And then my final strike, I went a little higher, hit too much of the head pin, and I hit the butt end of the head pin, slowly knocked the 6 pin over. So the 300s, everyone thinks it has to be perfect. No, you have to get lucky.
Listen, some people will tell you that, listen, I've shot 300s and, every shot was perfect. There's no doubt about it. But as a lot of people who follow bowling knows, you can throw, in essence, a perfect shot or what you think was a perfect shot, easily leave a solid 10, easily lead a solid 7, easily lead, a 6 that you talked about already there earlier. Things happen along the way that can easily do. So
Exactly. Again. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this page real quick. And if you're just joining us, Aiden Long is just having a phenomenal day. 797 to start the first set of the second half. And Maryvale is just proving why they're the favorites here in Division 2. Again, class results. Maryvale scores yet to come in. Cheektowaga, after 4, has 32-30, but a couple of low or mid to high 700s. Really keep them down. Depew and Maryvale are really the 2 schools to look at in Class C. And then in Class D, it's right in front of us, Salamanca. So Salamanca, pretty much Falconer, Frewsburg, because JFK. JFK's lead is not going to hold right now as they try to get in more scores. And I think it's time for a little commercial break. So you are watching Western New York Athletics on the Section 6 finals on Western New York Athletics.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to wnyImmediatecare.com for more information.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
All right, folks, we are back here at Airport Lanes here in Cheektowaga. As you've seen, this is the small school division. The large school went earlier today, where you've seen Frontier comes up with the big win in the large school. We actually had a couple of, give you a quick update on what happened this morning. Frontier wins 63-43 over 62-70 over Niagara Falls, and then Orchard Park in third with 61-47. Kenmore leads the way in fifth right there at 60-84. Your Class B teams, Grand Island comes up big, 59-55. Star Point 56-60, and Sweet Home 56-48. We're currently now have the C and D teams in place. Your individual results from the morning section. Right now leading the way is Jake Willard from Kenmore with a 14.73. He leads over Tanner Ambrosio with a 13.56. Riley Robinson of Clarence has a 13.50. And then Spino Jacob of Frontier with a 13.50. And then Charles Buttery from Sweet Home with a 13.44. Three of those top, right there, 5 bowlers currently have a 300. Jake Willard with a 300. You've got Riley Robinson from Clarence with a 300, and Charles Buttery with a 300. Those are your top bowlers from early on. We currently now are going to see someone else crack that division up there. As we've seen already early on, we have 1 300 here in the second grouping. He also not only has a 300, had a 797 set from Maryvale. Just an unbelievable set. And that is Aiden Longo from Maryvale. So, I mean, that kind of gets you up to date as to what we've seen so far. Definitely so far in this section, we've been talking about Maryvale as the big leader. Salamanca in the D division, the big leader right there, as they're even the only team right now, even with 1,000 set, period, for their team. And that's really what got us to where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, lanes are starting to break down. Bowlers are, and instead of moving to a new lane and learning it, you're able to stay on your lane and learn and keep your line. And then you're able to bowl better because you're a little bit more confident. But again, Aiden Long showing that 300 is huge. And then Salamanca, this set wasn't as good as their last set, but it's still a pretty decent set. For them, they'll probably hold Class D. Again, they have 2 1,000 sets. And they're the only ones in Class C to do so. But again,
wait till you see that 300. We'll take a look at some of the things by Aiden Longo out there. He actually had a 5-pin that was still left and gets a pin to come over, carry it, takes it out, and his teammates mob him on the lane. As pretty much everybody was out on the lane right now congratulating him, and he does it in game 1.
I mean, at first you heard the aw, and then everyone went, yeah, and I'm like, oh, and I see the 5-pin slowly roll down as Aiden just leaves a 10-pin, actually.
That's that sometimes it's better to be luckier than good comment that we talked about in before we went to commercial right there. Again, right, the scoreboard doesn't show that it was a pin that knocks it down late. The scoreboard doesn't show that it was standing up there for any length of time. He
missed the 10-pin left. But yes, Tom, you're right. It's not how, it's how many. And again, I have to say that more times than right-handers do because I'm left-handed, but, you know. Anyways, we got up here, we got Springvale, and I believe that is, that's not Cheektowaga. I think that's Fredonia, actually. Because, yeah, Fredonia is one of the few orange schools around the area. So the Griffins, I believe, Springfield. At first, I'm like, because I know Canisius is the Griffs, right? Canisius College, okay. So.
Yeah, high school's the Crusaders.
Ah, okay. That's where the confusion came from. So, anyways, and we've been talking today. Pretty much, they re-oiled the lanes, so strainer is greater. But I just, as you saw on the screen, the bowler on the left lane started opening up, left a ringing 10 pin, and it just means the ball didn't hook early enough to reach the pocket. So when it hooked, it was a little bit behind the 10 pin, and but when the time it hit the 6 pin, the 6 pin just kind of rang around the 10 pin, and just the 10 pin stayed standing.
Yeah, we've already seen an adjustment here in the lanes. We've been actually watching Salamanca, who's actually sitting. We're really sitting right behind Salamanca, so it's our best shot outside of what we see. We got cameras all over the lanes, but we've been watching Corey Gebauer right here, Bull, and you saw his last shot where he's been getting the ball out to 10. He can even get a little past 10, and he's got he throws the ball with two hands, so he gets some nice revolutions on the ball. Last one, he went over 15, which would be that third arrow. Went over 15, kind of almost went straight up over 15. You can see it hold there. So there's definitely still, the oil will be sitting in that middle of the lane is where it is when you're going to start seeing the outsides dry up a little bit.
Definitely. So when the bowling lane breaks down, you want to move to where there's oil. Or they would say you move where your ball hooks. So if you're righty, you move left. If you're lefty, you move right. But, again, on the left side in some of these lanes, it might be a lot fresher than it is on the right side.
And it depends. There are also people that look at where they place the ball on the lane, right? So
Yep.
a lot of people, there are dots early on the lane on a lot of the lanes.
Quentin Jones looked like he threw it around, from my angle, it's closer to 15.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit more of what they call a belly on the ball to be able to get that hook out there. But what some people will say is, if the adjustment is too far left, and I don't want to belly the ball too much because I have a trouble with the big belly out there, what I'll do is I'll look deeper on the lane is what I'll try to do from my mark. Try to go deeper on that lane to still keep that same exact spot I've been throwing all while to be successful. But what that does is it gets you to throw the ball a little bit harder, a little bit more speed that you're trying to get there and hold into that oil spot a little bit longer.
Yeah, so that's a term called projecting the ball. We're projecting the ball down lane. Or say your ball is still coming in high. What you could do is continue moving, right, and or left. Again, depends on the hand, and just ride as much oil as you can. But if you can't belly it, you can move up a little bit on the approach, slow your speed down, or you can move back half a board. And when I say half a board, there's dots on the approach, on the bowling alley approach. And you look at them, and they're like about 2-3 boards apart. So when I say I'm moving 2 boards, I'm adjusting with the foot I'm finishing on. So I'm left-handed. I finish with the right foot. That's the foot I personally adjust with. Because I know if I'll be going pretty much straight up the boards. Again, it's not an easy sport. It's actually a lot more challenging than people think.
There's a lot of thinking in bowling that people don't realize, and a lot of adjustments that you'll see that get made throughout a game or throughout a bowling set.
Right there. Anyways, on your screen, Depew. He didn't like it, but that was 10 in the pit. 7 pin conversion. Cleaned up beautifully. So a lot of bowling balls starting to go a little high, starting to hook a little bit, but that's when you move more into the oil. And this is a heavier oil pattern. This is a 12-to-1 ratio. So that's pretty heavy.
What's 12-to-1 ratio for people that don't understand that? And
so from what I understand, 12-to-1, so it's going to be heavier in the middle. A lot more oil in the middle, and it's going to last a little longer. And then on the outside, it's going to be a little drier. As you see right there, right in front of us.
Stuck to his hand right there in front of us.
Which can cause his arm, but 12-to-1 ratio. So for every 12 units of oil, there's I believe 1 dry board or something like that. Again, I have to double check myself because terminology, like that's mainly used in like the professionals. They talk about, oh, it's 12-to-1 ratio or a 2-to-1 ratio. So this is not a flat pattern. That's another thing that we like, because a flatter pattern, your ball's you're probably gonna need urethane or something. So, anyways, back to the action here. You're watching Frewsburg and Salamanca. Quentin Jones, his follow through. I mean, he's moved in and he's trying to get lined up. That split in the first frame, which is always, Tom, I say, the best place to leave a split, hasn't really seemed to affect him too much.
Yeah, you can see Corey on that one on lane 14. Got that one just a little bit too far out as we saw him. Like when he's at 15, he's got a nice shot, but if that gets out, well, it's going to come back and it's going to go a little bit high.
Good spare right there.
Maryville, you can see right now, having another nice set. We do see a bowler down there with the front 7, it looks like, right now on Maryville. So that's what we got you on Maryville right now. And it looks like he's up.
Okay, so
hold on right now. That ball goes down. And there he goes. That's a strike. We got the front 8 right now.
So I went back and because I sounded a little hesitant. According to Kegel.com, which is pretty much who lays down oil pattern, the sport bowling ratio is defined as the average amount of oil in units between boards left 18 to right 18. So that's pretty much the middle. Divided by the average amount of oil in units between.
So think about that. It's between the second and third arrow, everybody, to the between the second and third arrow.
Yes. And then the average divided by the average amount of oil in units between the right third and right 7 and left third, left 7. So we're talking about outside to the inside first arrow from the gutter. Right there. In general, the lower the ratio of the oil, the more difficulty the pattern is to play. So again, it's 12-to-1. This is as difficult as, say, a 2-to-1. A 2-to-1 is going to be a pretty flat oil pattern, and flatter the pattern is actually really tough. So again, we got the looks like front 8 for Maryville. Again, that's the third time they've had someone with a front 8 today. Again, Maryville, I would want to say the favorites here in Class C to win it. And probably Division 2, because up here is probably going to be the teams that are fighting for the division.
Yeah, I think you're obviously seeing right now, early on, it's been Salamanca for D and Maryville for C right now, no doubt leading the way right here.
Right, and the split you just saw was the 2, that is the 2-4-6-10, and that ball went super light. It never made it back to the pocket. It never hooked, and that's why it left that split. Also hit the head pin to an angle where it didn't knock out the 2-pin. And I don't know about you, Tom, when you bowl, but when I bowl and I see a split next to me, I can't bowl next to it.
No, wait.
I always.
But I'm also the bowler that likes 2 lanes courtesy on either side of me too, which is old school.
I am the same way actually. I am a 2-lane bowler myself.
All right, let's. We got Maryville right now, the bowler right up. He's got the front 8 right now, throwing the ball. Let's see what he comes up with, and it's going to be shy right there. So he's going to finish with the front 8 in a row. It looks like he's going to leave the 4-pin.
Yep. And we're gonna go to break. So you're watching the Section 6 Class or B Division 2 finals in the small school. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
So we're back right now here at Airport Lanes in Cheektowaga, where they hold the Section 6 championships. I'm Tom Prince. I'm joined here by Jeremy Becker. And, folks, we've had some big games. 4 300s have already been shot today. And it's really been, you can see a pattern that is scoreable. We just saw a second Maryville player had the front 8 right here. Unfortunately, in the 9th frame, he ended up leaving a 4-pin for a 9 and a spare. He strikes out. He's going to have a 279 right there. We also saw a 797 set. We just missed an Aiden Longo from Maryville in his first 3 games with a 797. We've seen a lot, folks. I mean, this is really has been fun to watch. We're seeing some of the oil patterns right now break down as we speak, which is why you're seeing many of the bowlers move left to be able to help their ball to be able to sit right in that pocket where it needs to be. But Jeremy, what do you want to add here? What have you seen so far?
I've seen a lot of breakdown. I've seen a lot of moving left, and I've been starting to see a different type of bowling balls going down the lane. Actually, I've been seeing more shinier equipment, which to me means they want more back-end reaction. The oil's starting to drag down a little bit. So when oil pan breaks down, it's going to break down in the middle part of the lane and then get dragged down a little bit. So even though the bowling ball oil is getting picked up, it could also get dragged down at the same time. So like right here, right in front of us for Salamanca, that's a 900 Global Zen, which is a pearl cover stock. So it's shiny. It looks cool to me. But it's shinier, and you're going to get more back-end reaction. The last 15 feet, your ball's going to curve a little more than, say, a dollar bowling ball. So, anyways, right now.
So, Jeremy, when you go to a bowling alley and you're going to bowl, we'll just say for a regular league, how many bowling balls do you take with you to the bowling alley?
It depends, because I bowl in 2 different houses. So, like, I bowl in a very old wood lane house. So I'll bring, like, a urethane and a plastic bowling ball. So I'll only bring 2. But, like, my normal leagues at Jamestown, I'm bringing 4. Because I don't know how the conditions in the house are going to be that day. It's just unpredictable.
And if you go to a tournament, are there any more?
There's tons more when I'm in a tournament. So when I'm, like, say I come up here for a tournament, I'm going to be bringing about around 10 bowling balls. That's a lot of luggage to bring up the I-90.
So folks, a lot of people you'll see they now have 9 bowling ball carriers. You'll see a lot of the big bowlers, and there's the adjustment right there. You see what we just talked about with Corey? He sits that over that 15 mark. That's his spot. When you can see he had to get it out farther, otherwise that would have held right there and never finished.
Right, which could have caused a ringing 10-pin.
But no doubt depends on the circumstances of
So, again, there's a nice strike there from Mitchell, and then we have Frusberg up on your screen. A little 6-pin means for a right-hander, the ball went a little too much towards the head pin. Caught a little too much. And then here's Springvale. Springvale next to us. The exciting most strikes I've seen is a double. As I'm leaning back, Tom. I'm like, I'm going to get a good back crack by doing this.
But, you know, that's why you'll see a lot of people will talk, especially when you go to a tournament, not knowing. Now, a lot of these bowlers do know the pattern that's laid down before they get here. So they'll have a good idea of exactly what to bring, what to expect, what to see. Versus a tournament, you don't know what it is you're going to walk into at a tournament. So that's why you'll see a bowler bring, as Jeremy explains, 10 balls going to a tournament, and that's not crazy in any spectrum.
No, that's
In
actually
fact, you'll see most bowlers that think they've got a shot to cash in an event like that, or let's say place in an event
Right.
like that, will definitely make sure that they've got the amount of balls to be prepared
So,
for it.
you know, here's a weird tip. I was watching a YouTube channel called Brad and Kyle, and they're PBA bowlers. And they made the show for a qualifying round for the Players' Championship Major. And they were talking that there is a difference the way the oil machine lays down. So, the two big brands of those big, like the things you see going down the lanes, like the big red machine here, that was a Kegel machine, and Kegel is one of the bigger providers. The other one is Brunswick, and some of these houses carry Brunswick equipment for lane maintenance. And if that oiler is Brunswick, it's going to lay down a little differently than it lay down or like this Main Street would have been laid down a little bit differently than it would have been on a Kegel, because this shot was mainly made for Kegel. So. Again, there's a lot of different conditions that the recreational bowler would not think about, that a bowler like me, where, you know, competition is kind of fun, although I'm starting to get more back into the team specter of bowling. I have to think about all that stuff. I have to think about, all right, my bowling ball is breaking down. I don't like the reaction. I'm not comfortable. Do I change? Or do I change bowling balls, or do I change where I'm standing? And I'm left-handed, so the answer is pretty much change bowling balls, because I want to keep around my line. But I also have to make sure I'm confident in my change. And a lot of these bowlers I'm seeing, they're making the change in equipment, and they're confident. There's been a lot of confident bowling, especially from Maryville. We are back. We apologize. So, Tom, are you more of a league bowler, or are you more of a tournament bowler?
Well, I don't bowl anymore. Unfortunately, Western New York Athletics has changed that. But no, I stopped bowling when my kids got into sports. It was very time consuming, because I was bowling 5 nights a week, and I was bowling in the very competitive travel leagues, as well as tournament play, as well as, you know, I led the ABCs at one point. So it was something where I did a ton of it, and just realized I had a passion more for the youth sports and my kids more than it was me going to the bowling alley.
Right. No, very understandable. I'm not to that point yet, because I do not have children. So, again, for some of these teams, today is the last day for the Lucky 4 team, or Lucky 2 teams. They go to states, and then some individuals will make states.
Yeah, we'll find out. The top 3 from the early session have qualified. And now it's what you're waiting for is there now are other spots that'll be open pending on what happens right here. So a lot to still be determined, but it will be determined once this last game is over right here. And once this last game is over, they will go to a award ceremony, which we will stay here for that award ceremony. And we'll get a chance to see exactly who has qualified for states.
Yep.
And states is actually in one of my old houses where I used to bowl all the time. That's Strike and Spare out of Syracuse. Probably, I would say, compared to this house, probably double the size of Airport Lanes right here, where you've got this on one side of the bay and then a completely on the other side, almost mirroring what we see right here on this. It's a huge house.
Beautiful. See, I just come from a 24-lane house, so anything bigger than 24 just awestrucks me. I mean, my Tuesday night league, which is kind of a fun recreational league. It's not sanctioned by the United States Bowling Congress. It's an 8-lane house. I mean, old wood I'm throwing, you hear your ball roll. Like you hear the old boom, you know the sound. And some of our viewers
There's a
will-
lefty right now bowling on our screen who
Yep.
just picked up his spare.
out of Dunkirk, actually. So Dunkirk must be down in that second bay.
And then split left right next to him, too.
Is that a split or is that a washout?
Yeah.
I believe that's a washout because that has the head pin on it. Now that's a split. Ugh. But it was on the last ball, so he doesn't have to pick it up here. Again, now you're watching Springfield. And now we're right back in Salamanca, Frewsburg territory. Now Frewsburg's in their 6th game, which will be their final game. I guess there's some scoring issues going on.
And it looks like West Seneca East right now, they're the only ones that really haven't gone to the last game as they're finishing up the 5th game right now.
So is Salamanca. I believe that's a 5. Yeah, Salamanca is still in their 5th game. So again, we're pretty much starting to wrap it up here at Airport Lanes. We're going to go on a quick break. You've been watching the Section 6 Boys Small School Bowling Finals right here from AMF Airport Lanes in Cheektowaga, New York. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Okay, folks, we're back here live at Airport Lanes. You can see we've got the scoring update up right now. Maryville leads the way at 53-47 after Game 5. Dunkirk in second place at 49-26. JFK in third at 46-66. And Fredonia in fourth at 45-49. Depew in fifth at 45-27. And then Falconer at 45-05. Those are pretty much your top teams right there. And I'll tell you, unless Maryville completely falls apart this game, and that would have to be a major fall apart, they should wrap this one up. And the same goes for Dunkirk with a 300-pin advantage going into the last game. It almost looks like Maryville and Dunkirk could have right now this wrapped up as far as the seed divisions.
100%. And again, Maryville only one game below 1,000. And that was game 4, and that was barely by 15 pins. And Dunkirk, again, just building. Again, we're going to get a result by class.
We're going to do the class because that's where we saw things before. So this just breaks it down. Maryville and Dunkirk are both C teams. Fredonia 45-49, Depew 45-27, and then Cheektowaga at 41-80. Those are your top Cs. Now D's, this is, don't go by this yet. Salamanca doesn't have their 5th game here, and I think Salamanca threw at least an 800 right there, which would vault them back up into first place. We are just awaiting that comes in right now, but you can see until Salamanca's score comes in, it'll be JFK at 46-66, Falconer at 45-05, and Casadega Valley at 43-04. So we're just waiting for that score to get entered for Salamanca. See if we can do a refresh for you right here.
Oh, you got the coach. 47-03. They shot 854. We want to thank Coach Jankowski for giving us that.
So 47-03. If that's where they are, let's see where that will put them. That puts them in the lead by 50 pins. So this game, this 5th game will decide the D class.
Exactly.
You know, JFK is right in there, and Falconer is very close by. You got to say this is kind of right now a 3-team race right now for the D division.
100%. And either team can have a great game or a very unfortunate game. And what's nice about Falconer is they have, they're one of the teams where bowling at Jamestown is translating to helping them up here. As we see a nice shot there by Corey. Gets 10 in the pit, but I believe right in front of us is Depew, and I don't know the other team to their left. So, anyways, Depew went down a little bit. They started out very strong, Tom, in Class C, but then started to fall apart a little bit. And
well, you got to remember, they've been sitting behind Maryville, and they've been sitting in that 3rd, 4th position. So Depew's been sitting in that 3rd, 4th position, and it's kind of where they stood. I think they've only really dropped back one position, but they've been sitting right there where it's been.
Right, so that was JFK, and JFK just finished up.
So that's JFK on the end. So it's funny. They're right now setting the mark. It'd be very interesting to see how they bowled that last set down there. Is that where Mr. Wolf is heading down to tell us what they did? Hopefully. Well, you can see. Well, we thought we had Mr. Wolf maybe heading down there, but I think they're kind of going to get a camera right now. But you know what? Why don't you keep going? I'm going to go find out what that set is because I want to see where it actually puts in what the ranking is.
100%. So we see the P right here battling Class C behind Maryville and Falconer. And my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. No, they're coming. So right here, one hand style looks like a pink, either a pink widow urethane or a pink widow normal. For that bowler, right up 10, and that was a beautiful, beautiful strike. Again, if it's probably the new Pink Widow, which is urethane with a actually aggressive covers or aggressive core, it's going to be stronger than, say, your traditional urethane bowling ball. Here comes the shot. Unique two-handed style, almost like it must have been one-handed, and then turned into a two-handed bowler. And we see we come from Tom Prince with the first set or the final set from JFK. Mr. Prince, what is? Okay, gotta do some calculations. Anyways, we're gonna do Maryvale right behind him. This bowler in particular is bowling with the 900 Global Zen, which is a pearl bowling ball, pretty aggressive, and has become a fan favorite among all what they call the Storm branch of bowling brands. There is Storm, there's Rotor Grip, and now, either last September or 2 Septembers ago, they bought 900 Global. So 900 Global falls under Storm now. And then Brunswick owns pretty much everyone else. Brunswick owns Brunswick, DV8 Radical, Warwick, and I believe they own all Ebonite, Columbia 300, Track, and Hammer. So, long list for Ebonite or for Brunswick.
All right, CFK just shot a 975, which is on the higher end of what they shot. Their highest set was 989. They've also shot a 978. This would be their third highest set of the day. You know, so that 975 though is something right there. It wasn't a bad final set to look at.
No, but like I'm looking at the Salamanca scores right now, and Salamanca's in really decent shape.
No, I mean you've got 3 bowlers right now on pace for a 200, and then two bowlers that have some work to do.
Right, like that's inside. That is very inside, and that was really heavy on the head pin. Anyways, here's Maryvale on your screen. And really playing relatively straight for Maryvale. And then we go right here to the camera closest to Tom and I, where Freesburg and Salamanca are bowling. That's outside. The oil broke down enough on the outside to where the ball was able to come back. 2 baby splits, I do believe. 310. One was missed, too heavy on the 3-pin. And then with the other pin, I've actually seen it where a bowler's hit the 10-pin and it somehow is bounced out and come back and kick the 3 forward.
That happens on a lot of splits.
In this place, does it really?
Well, I think it happens on a lot of places, especially somebody who throws a very hard ball.
Well, good. This kid is on the front 5, first 5 in a row in this game. So, I was saying for Storm fans out there, that ball is in 900 Global Zen, and really that ball's become a fan favorite among the Storm community, Tom. The ball looked relatively high. You see there, Corey's trying to play a little straighter. I think he's holding his hand, so his hand might have cracked while throwing the ball. I know that feeling. You're about to throw a ball, and then your knuckle cracks. It is not a fun feeling. But a lot of shinier bowling balls starting to go down the lanes. You see Springfield on your screen. Ball goes a little high, leaves the 6-pin. And on this side, it looks like the 1-3 or the 1-2-8. Was it? Yep. If it's a 7 count, that's a 1-2-8. Here's a spare attempt, 2-handed. Actually, it's relatively straight for a 2-hander. 2-handers are not really known for throwing up the boards. They're more of a belly it out type of bowling ball because they're a high amount of rev rate. Anyways, right outside 10, leaves the pocket 5-10. That's very uncommon unless your bowling was, or the way your bowling ball was rotating was a little flat. And by flat, I mean it was more of a forward roll and you had no extra, and you didn't have a 45-degree tilt, you had more of a 90-degree tilt, and he missed it. He went for it, missed. Also, there is the 2, 4, 5 bucket without the 8 pin. They're on lane number, I want to say that's 18. Here's a spare conversion. Sounds like he cleaned it up. No, he missed it. Straight up the boards inside goes Brooklyn, leaves the 5-9. Again, this is commentating what is on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're right back in front of us, Tom. So that ball was, I don't know. This bowler just doesn't look very comfortable, but Wilty has changed balls. It looks like it's an older ball. And what I mean by older ball, I mean yeah, that is definitely an older ball. That bowling ball is definitely 4 years old, almost 6. So we're going to take a quick break. You're watching this Boys Small School Section 6 Bowling Finals right here on Western New York Athletics. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. All right, welcome back to Section 6 Boys Small School Final. We're in the final game. And before break, I was talking about the bowling ball that Wilty was throwing. It's actually what's called a hybrid bowling ball. It is a Storm Code Red. So, again, that's a bowling ball I own. Worked really well for me in Tonawanda when I bowled on the Beat the Champ TV show. Beautiful shot right there.
So you can see right now, finishing the 8th frame right here, you've got 430. Trying to give a gist right now where we are. 660, right? About 660 right there. 10, 20, 30, 40. You're sitting at about 700 here going into the 9th frame. It's about 700.
Right. You got only one open frame, too. So that theoretically should help. Shot goes high again for Corey. He shrugs his shoulders. He doesn't It looks like he might be a little afraid to get the ball out, but he's Q Jones shot 10 in the pit. That's going to help to score a little bit there, Tom. Makes it 450. Backup ball at the 6'10. Cleans it up.
Every mark right now is important, and you've got 2 of these strikes. It would help if Salamanca can double at least one of these up. If you can double both of them up, it could put them in a really good position right here.
There is a 4-pin lead. So on your screen, we got. You still got Salamanca. Let's see his ball. It's a little right, and he's almost playing it like it's a 52-foot oil pattern, which is the longest oil pattern known in bowling. It is called the Badger. There's not much back end on the Badger. There's only 8 feet. So players try to play relatively straight on that, but Wellesley's ball speed is at 16.43. There's a higher backswing. Nice spare conversion right there. Would have gotten the 10-pin. Here goes the throw by Jones. Beautiful.
That's a big double right there, too, for his team. And again, you can get another double right here.
Looks out inside. Almost went. I thought it was going to go a little bit out more than it did, but it stayed inside and went high.
That's big right there. There's a triple or a turkey right there in the 10th as you see Jones trying to shoot right now at 220. Nice pickup, right? So, I mean, you're already looking at 526, 250, or 530, 258. That's 788 right now that they're sitting at partially into the 10th frame.
Oh, that ball got wide.
Yeah, but it's his last ball. No big deal.
316.
That's a big kick out. The 4 gets kicked out right there.
And that's the power of two-handed bowling right there, which is it's becoming more and more common in today's game. Is instead of finesse, is more power. Better equipment. You know, the new two-handed style, which I mean, still relatively new, even though it's been, I want to see, 10 years since it was introduced properly to the United States.
So it's 8:14 is about where Salamanca is sitting. We already knew JFK threw a 975.
Ooh, good job. I mean, lucky break right there, kicking out the 5-pin because the 5-7 is no easy conversion. Anyways, it's going to be a 190 there. Again, Salamanca really fighting for the Class D title. It's JFK and Faulkner. Shot looks inside. And it was one at Brooklyn. A little too far to the left. Shot. That was the furthest where I've seen him throw that ball, 153. So about 860. Just missed the spare.
Wow, this is going to be really close, guys.
This is, yeah. And we don't have an update with Faulkner. They're not in one of our camera bays. So nice shot right there. That's going to 585. And on your screen right now, we have Springvale. Ball's right around 10th 10th board, second arrow, 10 in the pit.
JFK's in there. An 8-14 they have in game 6.
For Hinsdale.
Oh, Hinsdale. Oh, my God, I didn't even see that. So Hinsdale's in there at 8-14. JFK's not in there. So we're sitting at right now, if that score I thought was a possibility at 975, the difference between JFK and Salamanca right now,
Be close. That leads.
Salamanca still doesn't.
Salamanca's yet to put in their 5th
Yeah.
game. So they got to put in their 5th and their 6th game together. So Class D again came down to JFK, Falconer, and Salamanca. But Class C was really ran by Maryvale. Again, 1 step in the sectional final so far. We don't have results from Game 6. 1 step below 1,000, which is a 200 average pretty much for the whole entire team. We will also be back tomorrow, Tom, for the Section 6 Girls Large School and Small School Finals here at AMF Airport Lanes. And they flip-flop every year. Sometimes the girls will go first, and sometimes the boys will go. One year it's the girls, one year it's the boys who determines who goes first. And they do that down in, at least in my area. I'm not sure about ECICs. But in CCAA, they do the same thing. They try to stay consistent with Section 6. Anyways, you got West Seneca West on your screen. They're wrapping up. This is their final shot. A little outside. And that ball didn't have a chance to recover. That is the 1-2-10, but that was his final ball, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
So, folks, what's going to happen right now is you're going to see there's going to be a little bit of a lull right here as they try to set up for the award ceremony and get all the scoring and everything into place that needs to go. So we'll stick right here as we're going to watch Springville finish up for themselves. But once everyone's done, we're going to kind of take a quick break, and you're going to kind of see us in a little bit of a holding pattern as we wait for that award ceremony to come. Once that award ceremony comes, we will then take a quick break. I'm sorry, we'll play the award ceremony, but we'll take a quick break until that award ceremony comes. We'll play the award ceremony in its entirety, and then we'll end the broadcast from there. So hopefully at least you've got a little bit to be able to see bowling today from Airport Lanes, from Cheektowaga, and we are with Western New York Athletics and just happy to be here to bring all this to you today. So we're excited to see how things turn out. Definitely Class D up for grabs as we're waiting to see these final scores get inputted, but no doubt something big going on. So we're going to stay here right here with Springville, and from there, like I said, we'll take a quick break and see what happens from there. So,
Oh boy, chopped the 7 clean off. Oh, it was almost a gutter ball. He bowled it way left. So Salamanca's cumulative total is going to be 5606. Thank you, Coach Jankowski from Salamanca. So, Tom, 5606 is where Salamanca is going to finish. That is not going to be good enough to beat Hinsdale. Well, actually, it is. That actually might be good enough, too. Go ahead and refresh this page. As Springfield finishes up. Again, right now, Fredonia leading, but we're still waiting from results from, Maryvale. So I don't anticipate that lead holding at all. Going by class. Again, Depew is not in. Maryvale is not in either. Neither is Dunkirk. And the only game with 6 score in is right now is from Hinsdale with an 8-14. So it's their last bowler for Springfield throws the ball 10 in the pin. A little lazy 3-pin from my or 2-pin from my angle, but that's a turkey right there for the Springfield bowler. Wipes the bowling ball off. Looks like 5-step approach. Good. Yeah, that did look a little outside, and that ball was not going to finish from out there. Leaves the 4-8 very makeable. Not
But
like the
this
4-9.
This is one of the pairs in the house I hated to bowl on. Because obviously the wall is right there. I used to have a very high leg kick that would actually, I'd have to lean my leg up against the wall and hold it there on my shots. Otherwise, I'd kick the wall too hard. Hated when I had to play on 1 and 2, or when you get to a new bay and that wall was right to my left side right there. I just always had to make sure I did something to help myself be able to finish out. So it looks like that's it right there. So the Springville is now ended. So we're going to take a quick break with them. You're going to see is we're going to just leave our sponsors up. We're not going anywhere. We will stay here for the award ceremony so you can hear that.
everybody. Welcome back. Francis Beck here with Jeremy Becker. We are wrapping up the Section 6 Boys Bowling Small School Finals. We have just finished all the bowling up, and they are getting set for the awards ceremony. Of course, earlier today, we had the large school finals.
Yep.
We saw Frontier win the Division I title. We're going to find out in a little bit who wins, who's going to be the Division II state title, and will join the Falcons as representing Section 6 in the team event at the tournament. We'll also find out who officially will make it for the individual bowlers. I guess they call it the All-Star team, I think, or at least they use
the Section 6 representatives.
the All-Star team as well. We know we had a couple 300 perfect games, 300 games for the large schools earlier, and we had one more. Yeah, we had 3 earlier and one this afternoon. Aiden Longo from Maryvale, so we're going to catch up with him later. We have the 3 other perfect game guys. They're already on Twitter, and I believe 2 of them are already on Facebook as well. So large school did well. Let's just take a look, gander, at who we have so far. Who are the top bowlers right now individually? It looks like it's going to be Aiden Longo is going to be the top bowler. Again, this is unofficial. 1,497 pins. Willard is going to be in second from Kenmore East, 1,473. And then Tanner Ambrosio from Orchard Park, 1,356. Those 3 should make it as individual bowlers. No?
The top 3 from the first section automatically made it. Then it's the top 3 from this section make it, and then they got those other bowlers.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so it'll be a little different than I remember from years past.
Doesn't count toward if you made the team, you won't be one of those bowlers either.
Yeah.
That's correct. So Maryvale's going to make it as a team. So Aiden Longo is going to go with Maryvale. Jacob Spino Frontier is going to go with Frontier. So then you take out those 2. Riley Robinson will be one of the few. I think he's the only non-pool bowler that will make it. Yeah.
Yeah, Robinson was one of the guys from Clarence. He had a 300 game. That was actually in game 6 for him. He ends with 1,350 total pins knocked down in this 6th set.
That was his first 300, by the way. So that's why he was overwhelmed with emotion. I very understand that emotion. The very first time you throw 300, it's a very special moment.
So again, we are just awaiting the award ceremony. It looks like they're almost set up. So on that note, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have the award ceremony, and then we'll wrap it up here from Airport Lanes. You're watching Section 6 Bowling on Western New York Athletics.
we need the all-section boys team to stay here with their families and coaches if they're still here. That's not the end of the coaches aren't here, as well as our Division II champion team and parents. All right, we're going to start with our top 4 individuals for the afternoon session. Fourth place with a score of 1324 from Cheektowaga, Jeff Joya. Third place with a score of 1329 from Salamanca, Quentin Jones. Second place with a score of 1364 from Burgard, Christian McLaughlin. And our high score with a score of 1497 from Maryville, Aiden Longo. Along with our 300, congratulations, Aiden.
I am here with West New York Athletics. My name is Frank Noodle.
And now our 6 boys that will be representing Section 6 on the all-section team. They will be bowling Saturday morning, March 12th at Syracuse Striking Spares. From Kenmore, Jake Willard. These are our top 3 finishers for the whole afternoon. From Burgard, Christian McLaughlin. And from Orchard Park, Tanner Ambrosio. The next 3 slots on our all-section team were our top 3 finishing pool bowlers. From Sweet Home, CJ Buttery. From Salamanca, Quentin Jones. Happy birthday, Quentin. From Cheektowaga, Jeff Joya. These 3 boys will be representing Section 6 at the all-section games Saturday, March 12th. All right, let's get to our class champions. In Class D, in second place with a score of 5,606, Salamanca. Salamanca, we got Deacon Krantz, co-captain Jonathan Wilson, Corey Gebauer, Cole Urbanski, Jones, birthday boy, and Alex Tyler, assistant coach. Congratulations, Salamanca, Class D runner-up. Christian McLaughlin, where are you? All right, and our champion in Class D with a score of 5,641, JFK. Sophomore Mason Stark, senior Smith, junior grader Victor Borbiak, and his brother who's a senior Joey Borbiak, and grader Brian Presaport. All right, congratulations, JFK, our Class D champion. All right, in Class C, in second place overall in Division 2 with a score of 5,913, Tucker.
All right, I have senior Jackson Pensar, senior Clayton Bitis, sophomore Brian Thurston, freshman Thomas Schaefer, sophomore Devin Farrington, sophomore Matt Wallison, and sophomore Robert Kozlowski.
Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
Congrats, man. Nice job, fellas.
Congratulations, Dunkirk, Division II, Class C, runner-up. And our Class C champion and Division II champion will be representing Section 6 on Friday, March 11th. For 6,485, yes, it hurts to say, Maryland!
We want to take our picture. We're the four spirits. Really? I gave birth to him. I want the picture. Get in there. Guys, come on. Bob, get in there.
My juniors, Josh Magda, Nathan Longo, Nathan Jackson, and freshman Ryan McIntyre.
I want to hold that there. All right.
Okay, I need the all section boys, coaches, families that are here to go upstairs.
All right. That.
Want to congratulate all
All right,
the
that's going to
boys
wrap
on
it up
section
for
one.
us here at
Congratulations, boys.
Airport Lanes for the Section 6 Boys Bowling Section 6 Championships from Airport Lanes. We had Maryville, Division for Division 2,
Yep.
and Frontier for Division 1 is going to represent Section 6 at States, and we have 6 bowlers as well. We've had a great day. Jeremy, any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
There's been, like you said, a lot of great bowling. The 6 who are going are very worthy. Probably be some changes because they made a team event too. Maryvale Frontier, they'll be representing us, and I'm excited for tomorrow for the girls.
Yep, they are right. Girls are happening tomorrow. Large school, I believe, in the morning. Small school in the afternoon. Same format as today. Different formats than in years past. But yeah, we'll be back here for it right from Airport Lanes. So for our whole crew, including Heidi Gunther, our producer, Tom Prince, who was on here earlier, Frank Wolf, who's been on here helping us do a bunch of things, Jeremy Becker, and myself, thank you all for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow to the section. Thank you for watching Section 6 Bowling on Western New York Athletics.